last time. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. When you're on the pot, give it all you got. On your on, you're hot. On your on, you're not. On your on, hot. Give it all you got. Owie. It stings when I pee. It burns when I poop. When I push real hard, things don't go that well. Uh-oh, not going very well.
I think it's going fine.
It's kind of stingy on my boo-boo hiney.
Ouch, my bottom.
Pretty much. We've all been there. We've all eaten at Taco Bell. It happens.
I shouldn't have had the habanero sauce.
I actually ate at Taco Bell for the first time in like 6 or 8 months, probably.
Yeah.
I did that last weekend, I think. Yeah, I want to say it was like Saturday or something like that. It took all of 45 minutes to start like gurgling in my stomach. I thought, man, I am a gentleman who has not learned his lesson. But that's kind of along the same lines of like Long John Silver's.
Oh, man.
I get it in my head that it might be a good idea to eat there because I really like seafood. But that's an idea that crosses my brain when I'd say maybe once every 3 years. I'll just say, that sounds kind of good. And then I eat it.
Then you're like, I forgot about this part.
I know. It feels like a brick in your stomach, and you're left wondering, how can one be constipated and have diarrhea at the same time? It doesn't seem like it should work, but
all
it
the
does.
discomfort of constipation with the inconvenience of diarrhea.
Yeah, that's Long John's. I mean, it's greasy, but it sits like a like a brick in your stomach. You made that face. I knew what you were doing. That's like when I had my college internship job at that Case IH dealer.
Yeah.
And the guy that was the shop foreman at the time, he'd just sit there and he'd go, oh. He'd turn to the side and he'd lift one leg up and he'd sit there for like 15 seconds. And everyone knew what was happening. Everyone was just waiting for it. And then finally you'd hear, like, man, that was a lot of suspense building up to a real letdown.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, hey, welcome to the next episode, which is 5. Yep.
I was just letting you go on that one.
Yeah, well, that's a poor choice.
I knew it was going to be awkward, so I was just waiting to see how awkward.
Get the popcorn. Let's see how bad this one is.
Yes. I'm over here just shoveling it in.
Come on, give us a good one.
I got the whole bag at Rural King.
Nothing better than day old popcorn.
I know. When Isaac worked there during college, that whole era, like he said, I don't know why people think that popcorn is so good. Like, quite literally, they clean the machine out at the end of the day, shovel it into a bag, and sell it for like $1.50.
Well, you know that's what they're doing. It's like the only thing that really makes sense of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's money smart. Like they're gonna.
So people are buying it, so might as well.
Yeah, they're gonna make money on it instead of just throwing it in the trash. But when you think about the people that are buying it and ingesting it, it's kind of gross.
I give it to the kids.
Kids like popcorn, whether it's gross or not.
They'll eat it the next day. If it's been sitting out all night, they don't care.
Exactly. It's it's popcorn.
Oh.
I think I heard some popcorn popping over there.
Popping some corn.
Woo! Uh-oh.
Shoo.
I gotta poop again.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
I gotta poop again.
Oh, I gotta poop again.
Oh.
It's so low and gurgly, too.
So before we got on here, we were having a discussion that we decided to save for here. I was at lunch today eating the Mexican food, which is part of the reason for the ambient noise. And I was went with my buddy Isaac, who shall remain unnamed, and
An unnamed person will call Isaac, because that's his name.
now Isaac's a cool dude, and we found out that he was a big fan of your band, and we decided that you need to bring that haircut back, the male Karen haircut.
Yes. The may I speak to the manager haircut that ladies that are like right at 30 carried on for another 8 or 10 years past when the emo kids did it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we were discussing it. We're like, okay, you've seen a lot of ladies with that haircut. They got the two pieces that come down and like the spiky in the back. And we figured out the difference between the male and female version of that. It's whether you spike it in the back or not.
Yes.
If you spike it, that's the lady version. If you don't spike it, that's the fellow version.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just funny.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was just one of those things where that's just kind of the haircut you had to have when you were in a band.
Yeah, everyone had it. I think that's kind of like, when you see the people that are our parents' age and they look back at their high school pictures and they're like, I don't know, like the 80s big hair or the like 70s like puffy long hair with like the big mustache and everything. And they're like, oh man, can't believe that was, I hate seeing those pictures. That was so bad. And then maybe that's our generation version. It's like, I can't believe I did that.
Well, the difference is like the 70s and all of that, it kind of wrapped around to where it started being kind of trendy again for the hipsters and whatnot.
Right.
Oh,
that will come back eventually.
Well, if that haircut and like Jinko jeans and stuff like that, if that wraps around and gets popular again, I don't know if I'm still going to be alive to see it because it's probably going to be a long, long time in the future. But then again, I never thought that would happen with the 80s.
Oh, yeah. No, what was it? I saw something. I think Jinko went out of business finally. And
finally? Like recently?
Yeah, it was like 2010 or something like that is when they finally went out.
They were in business until 2010?
Yeah, I think I'll have to look it up later.
I figured the end of the 90s would have killed them.
Nope, they kept on going. They trucked on for a long time.
Oh, God bless them.
Oh, no, that's what it was. Airwalk. So they're still a shoe brand.
Yes.
They're starting to bring back the old Airwalk, the original Airwalks. They're bringing them back again.
Hey, how else are you supposed to skateboard if you don't have a solid set of Airwalks?
I'm waiting for what were the soap shoes? I'm waiting for those to come back.
Yes. I had some of those, and there was a little railing off the side of the school that went down into the teacher's parking lot, and you could get on there and grind for all of 2.5 feet before you hit the bottom. And while they would grind just fine, the area behind your heel, the cloth would rip over it, and it had hard plastic inside, so it just cut the crap out of the back of your feet.
It's awesome.
But we were all super cool band skateboard kids and all that stuff.
Skateboard, yeah, buddy.
So I remember Kylie and Jeremy, they would skateboard and they were actually pretty good at it. And I was like, I'm hanging with these dudes. I'm going to try skateboarding.
I'm going to grind like Tony Hawk's pro skaters.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So I got a skateboard, but I was more so the kind of person that couldn't afford you couldn't afford the independent trucks and the Lucky Bearings and all that.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Black Panthers, but they're so darn much.
Well, that's funny too, is because that's one of those deals where you'd see, like in a small town where we lived, you would see the kids that would buy the expensive stuff and all they could do is like a kickflip. But they're buying the expensive trucks and bearings and wheels and decks and everything else.
Oh, yeah. How's that any different than the parents that buy their kids a super expensive car and they drive like a complete ding-dong head?
Or the people who buy their baby $60 Air Jordans. It's like, they don't even walk yet, bro.
Yep. Oh, they don't walk, but they're going to look so cute for 1.5 months before they outgrow them.
That's my thing. Like, buy them the Walmart shoes. Though I will say, I will buy them shoes that are properly supportive because that helps them learn how to walk better.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But you don't need $60 shoes for that.
What if the cheap ones are not supportive? Any of them.
Then I guess my kids are going barefoot.
What about those shoes that like hug your toes?
Do they make those in kid sizes? Like little kid sizes? I mean, I'm sure they make them in, say, like your kids' sizes, but...
Like baby sizes? I don't know about that.
Do you know how awful that'd be to put that on a baby's foot?
A living nightmare.
They would literally never get used because you'd put them on once and be like, this is awful.
Yeah, babies basically just say, Dad's messing with my foot, and they start curling their toes, and it's never going to go in. You've tried to put gloves on little kids.
Yeah, they're just like doing this.
Eventually, you're just kind of like, well, I guess they're mittens now, and they've just got loose fingers dangling on the outside. You just give up after a while.
All the fingers are crammed into one finger.
Oh, you have lived that too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
That's funny. But yeah, I know. I don't get why people do that. Now, I did buy this last pair of shoes I bought Evan. I think I bought them Brooks or something like that. They were on sale, so they were affordable. So they were like $30 or something. So they're not outrageous. But he's big enough now, he's running around and stuff, and I thought it'd be nice to have those versus paying $20 for the Walmart shoes, you know?
Yeah, if it's $10 difference, then...
And you can find deals like that. You just got to go look.
Yeah, just be a bargain hunter. Mm-hmm. Go find them at the pawn shop.
Well, it's funny. I think the reason they were selling them was because they were like day glow green, which he absolutely thought that was the coolest color he ever saw. So I was like, okay, here you go, man.
If you like it, good enough for me.
Oh, and it's always funny when a little kid gets new shoes. Like you let them walk out of the store with them, right? You put the shoes on their feet. You put their old shoes in the box. You carry out the box and like check that out. But as you're walking to the register, because we got them at like the Dick's Sporting Goods in Champaign.
Yeah.
So on the way there, you have to walk a decent way. And the whole way there, he'd run to like the end of the aisle and run back and run to the end of the aisle and run back. He's like, I'm so much faster with these.
I know. I love the little boy logic of that. I'm going to be fast in these.
He's like it's like he's a race car and he just got his soft tires traded out for new ones. Oh, there's so much more grip. I can get so much more speed out of these.
Oh, yeah. And Max is totally the kind of guy that when he's running super fast, sometimes I'll see him just going, like he'll make the noises as he's doing it. Oh, my gosh. It's phenomenal.
Oh.
Such an amusing little kid. And when he was super little and he was really into farming and stuff, being around and we're moving equipment around, he rode with me while I was cutting beans. So that big platform on the front has the reel that spins, just gobbles all that stuff up. So I used to see him like walking around the yard and he'd just be doing this. Spinning his arms around, making it look like the reel on the front of that and making that noise.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And something that's good about this generation, they've started getting more into like safety stuff on farm equipment. They start putting big flashing lights and backup alarms and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So when he's doing that and he'll stop and back up, he'll go beep, beep, beep.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it was great.
You know, that just kind of reminded me of a story. Did you hear about the farmer who got his left arm and left leg? He got him caught in like an auger or something.
I know that's happened. If there's something like recent, I haven't heard that specifically, but I know that happens. They have, well, I've seen safety decals on every piece of equipment that has a little stick man picture of just exactly that happening.
I guess I won't go into it, but he's all right now. Get it?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Oh, man. That was a real dad joke.
A real dad joke there.
He's all right now. Aha!
Oh.
Hey, I've hit the threshold where I really appreciate a good dad joke.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's so much build up for such a bad joke.
I know, it really was. And it didn't go any smoother with me having actual knowledge to insert.
Let me insert my real knowledge here.
Yes, there's all kinds of safety decals on there.
There's a sticker that shows exactly that.
Yes, a young man got his leg stuck in an auger and they had
so if you see
a warning sticker on it.
If you see one of those stickers and it's got because a lot of times those have like a line through like the arm or the line through the leg or something saying basically that, you know, if you get either one of those things caught, that part's going to be gone forever. Because we see those on the machines at work and everything else, like the finger ones and stuff. So now if you see one of those and it's all on the right side of the guy or on the left side of the guy, you're going to look at it and say, Well, that guy's all right now.
I will say that
Say it out loud every single time.
to myself and to others. Hey,
Hey,
see
he's
that
all
guy?
right now.
You see that guy? He got all his he's all right now.
Oh, gosh. I knew that'd be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Real zinger there, Dad.
Zing!
Oh, man. So before we got on this, we were discussing, you were watching the,
Forgot to arm that one.
what is that?
The right track from my computer.
Oh, probably good to do.
I guess I can arm it now, but it's going to be...
It doesn't look like it's recording.
There it is.
There you go. But anyway, before we got on here, we were discussing like the 90s sitcoms and the True Hollywood stories and all that jazz behind there. Home Improvement. I got to say, I totally love the show.
Oh, it's a good show.
I thought it was fantastic. But then you're always a little bit disappointed when you start hearing the behind the scenes stuff and so was a real jerk to everybody and blah blah blah.
Well, that's how all that stuff is. If you get more than one person in a room, someone's probably going to be a butthole.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty easy to figure out who the difficult one to deal with was. And it's the one that disappears and gets replaced in the later seasons.
Yeah.
Family Matters. All of a sudden there's a different actress playing Harriet.
Yeah. Oh, that was bad, though.
That was a really bad one because Harriet was a pretty likable character, and they introduced this lady who, and they didn't just say, well, Harriet moved out and this other person moved in. They didn't make a story up or anything. They're just like, nope, that's Harriet now. Yeah. And you're like, who the heck's that lady? And she's just extremely devoid of personality at all. They would interact with her, and she's like, oh, Carl, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, and on top of that, you had Laura was not quite as good, and then Urkel was getting all like jacked up. He was huge.
He was too muscular to be the nerdy character that he was.
He's the nerdy character who looks like a running back.
Yeah, it was starting to not make sense towards the end.
It's like, yeah, you guys need to end it.
Yeah. There's a time when you just cross the threshold and it's time to call it good.
Well, it's like Arrested Development. They tried to bring that back on Netflix, and it was awful on Netflix.
I never saw any of the new ones.
Oh, they're bad. I tried to watch them. It's like they took, they tried to take all the little bits that were funny from the other ones and just magnify them. And the reason they were funny was because they were just randomly splattered through these stories. And when you just make the whole thing about stupid gags, it got cartoony almost. It was not good. And it was so brilliant with the first 3 seasons because they were just like...
Yeah, it was the best written comedy show I had ever seen in my life.
Every single line was funny. I mean, no matter what.
Yeah, the characters were so well thought up. Everybody was likable.
But they were all so neurotic that it worked.
I know. It was phenomenal. The way they would write their jokes out and stuff, they were so witty. I would laugh at something and just say, never in a million years would I think that way to where I could come up with that joke.
There's money in the banana stand. Yeah. He burns it down. No, there was $100,000 in the walls of the banana stand.
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, there may or may not be something hidden in the banana stand.
Oh, and then like the Tobias jokes on the new one, like they were towards the end of the season 3, they started to get a little much because it was just funny because they just came out and it seemed more natural. Like it was just some guy that had no idea what he was saying.
Yeah.
But then they just got so over the top. It's like, these are obviously like thrown in there. These are created. This doesn't sound like some guy who's just misspeaking constantly.
Yeah. A little too intentional.
Yeah.
Was the first run of that show, the first 3 seasons were the original, right?
Right. Or yeah, I think 3. And the 4th one I think was the Netflix.
Was that like 2001 through 3? It was somewhere early 2000s.
Probably.
But amazing show. Absolutely loved it.
Look at that hog. Oh, look at that guy on the hog. George Michael.
He kept calling Ann Hogg.
Yeah. She was Ann or Egg or...
Yeah, he just never remembered her name. Her presence there was unimportant enough to even merit remembering who she was for like an entire season or two.
I think it was one of the parts they changed the girl that played Anne out. And I guess from the... I don't remember where it was that they did that, but I guess what they were going to do with the show was they were going to keep they're going to keep both of them and then just randomly swap them out. So like they'd be one episode and then one would be the next episode.
Whoa.
I was like, that would have been hilarious. Because it's like the one that no one's paying attention to her, and it just you can obviously tell it's a different person.
Yeah. You're like, who the heck's that person? And then they refer to her as Anne. You're like, hey, wait a minute.
And then the other one's back the next episode.
Yeah. She was in and out. She had a busy schedule.
That would have been brilliant.
Yeah. That would have been a good one. Could have just taken the Larry Bird route.
That was good.
I'm Larry Bird, and I do not approve.
I'll show you that one later. It's just Did you watch it?
No, not yet.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I want to see it. But going back to the 90s, all those different sitcoms, they had that feel-good quality to them. And like I actually found myself looking for something with that kind of feel-good quality recently.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Home Improvement, the jokes were pretty clean.
Mm-hmm.
And there was always some sort of legitimate family values and stuff instilled.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like that. And Family Matters, Full House as well, where they'd have their funny moments and all that stuff, but then they would also have their heartfelt moments. And at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? I laughed and I felt good about it. And nowadays, that's just hard to come by because people's idea of like feel good is like, we're going to preach acceptance for all the extreme lifestyles. You're like, that doesn't have the same feel as like valuing your family and all of that.
Well, and back then it was all about like making something, just making it feel good, making it seem like something you'd want to watch, something you'd take away and feel positive afterwards. And it seems like now it's either how stupid can you make the male character? How much can you preach with whatever stance the show wants to have? And I don't know, it just seems like everything is, I feel like stuff's better written now, but lower quality. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Family Matters. The jokes and stuff on there, they were funny, but they were easy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But then the new ones, they're a little more clever and they've got these real intricate plot lines and stuff that actually work out. But then at the same time, there's just there's just no depth to the character.
Yeah, I agree. And, well, recently with Hulu, I added on HBO.
Yeah, I need to do that because I want to watch. Someone was asking me if I watched how far along Game of Thrones I was. I was like, I still haven't watched an episode yet. They're like, oh, you don't want to watch it? I'm like, I kind of do. I just don't have access to HBO.
Yeah, people are talking about it, and then they'll say, have you seen it? And I said, any show where people wear armor, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. Like anything that takes place in medieval times.
What about Monty Python?
That's just nostalgia. It's a classic.
Your arm's off. It's not. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. I got to thinking about the holy hand grenade of Antioch the other day. Bless this, thou holy hand grenade, that with it I might blow thine enemies to itty-bitty bits. Amen.
When they start talking about counting to 3.
1, thou shalt not count. Neither count thou 4.
Or 2.
Lest thou then proceedest to 3.
5 is right out.
Oh, that was a good movie, though.
Tim the Enchanter.
Yeah.
He's just blowing up stuff, and he's just like, Tim.
They were just outright silly, and they owned it. I remember watching that and thinking, this was hilarious, because I was fairly young. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, I got a hold of one of the other movies. It was like The Life of Brian or something.
That one's rough.
Yeah. And I started watching it. I was like, this is going to be just as silly. And it probably was, but I couldn't get past the excessive amount of male penis.
Versus female penis.
There's far too much female penis in this movie.
Oh, Lord.
No, but, when you're trying to get into a movie, it's really difficult to do when you got somebody's doodle right up front.
Hey, Doodle.
Homer, I can see your doodle.
Ned Flanders.
But anyway, got derailed there on the HBO front.
Mm-hmm.
I started sifting through and looking at the comedy shows, and the shows that they had to offer on there, they were, I'm sure, good shows, but every single one of them was dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, hey, this is kind of a satire, but the guy is like a serial killer or a hired hitman, and it definitely could not be further from like any strain of the Family vibe or whatever that was back in the day.
So if HBO made a Family Matters remake, it'd be like Carl Winslow's an assassin and Laura's like a prostitute or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. This intervention,
This intervention.
yeah, they staged one for Laura, and they're,
Steve Urkel's not a genius. He's just a crackhead.
yeah, Urkel, your crack use has affected my life negatively in the following ways.
One thing you don't know about me, Joe Rogan, I smoke rocks.
What's that guy's name? Tyrone?
Tyrone. It's Tyrone.
Okay.
That was great. I think the sketch comedy is probably better now.
Are there very many types of sketch comedy? Because like Key and Peele was pretty active. Outside of like Saturday Night Live has been a thing that's been going forever.
Yeah.
But is
I
there
mean,
much?
they had, what was it, the Mad TV, which I never cared for that one as much. And
Oh, I liked some of it. When Will Sasso was Kenny Rogers.
oh, yeah, that was good.
And myself and my brother still quote this, like Thanksgiving or something. We'll do the Kenny Rogers thing where we're eating like a piece of turkey and we'll go, that's good.
Wasn't that the one that had, what was the dude that acted like a kid?
Oh, yeah, Stewart.
Dude, no.
Look what I can do. That was an odd character.
Yeah.
It was amusing, though.
Very Pee Wee Herman-esque.
Yeah, it totally was. I never thought of that. Pee Wee Herman was...
Connect the dots, la, la, la.
He was an odd dude. My brother and I used to make fun of Pee Wee's Playhouse when we were little because we said, today's secret word is ignominy. Hey, Pee Wee, didn't you ignominy last night?
What I liked about that show was everything was just whatever it was with a Y on the end. It's Cherry. Hey, look, it's Flory.
That's like the way children name pets.
Yeah.
This one's black. I'm going to call it Blackie. That or Yellow Cat number 4.
Yeah. That's a great name.
I know. Still, nothing's going to trump Pizza Hut, boy.
Yeah. Like we've covered this one, but you guys had fantastic cat names.
Oh, yeah. We did. They were good ones.
I still remember the Pee-wees. I watched it not all that long ago. It was on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. That's on one of those. I think it's still on one of those. And like the first episode, he's sitting in his house, like being Pee-wee, and his flowers in his flower box start freaking out. And he's like, "What's wrong, flowers?" And they're like, "We've got a weed, Pee-wee." And then he's like, "A weed?" He like pulls it out. And he's like, "A weed doesn't belong in the flower patch. It belongs in the weed patch." And so Pee-wee proceeded to go to his weed patch.
Oh, I see.
And then there's Cowboy Curtis, who was what was his name? Morpheus from Matrix.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
That was him?
Yeah, he was Cowboy Curtis.
I did not know that.
Cowboy Curtis. He was fantastic.
Was he supportive of Pee Wee's weed patch?
Yes.
Pee Wee was smoking the marijuana cigarettes.
Oh, man. It was fantastic.
It was such a strange show, but oh my gosh, it is Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, it's fantastic, though.
Wait, that is him, right? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Looks like Conan O'Brien interviewed him and asked him something about it. There you go.
Oh, wow. His getup is really something.
I'm going to go next year for Halloween. I'm going as Pee Wee, and you get to go as Cowboy Curtis.
Oh, I'll do it. Should I go blackface?
Let's not do that.
You're telling me that's not acceptable?
I am 100% sure that's not.
Have you ever seen the whole blackface debate on Always Sunny in
Oh,
Philadelphia?
gosh, no.
It's when they were doing their own. They made Lethal Weapon 4. Was it 4 or 5? They made another Lethal Weapon past what was
The last
actually
one,
out.
yeah.
And Mac was dead set on playing Danny Glover's character in blackface. But they got halfway through, and like Dennis decided he could play that character better. So halfway through the movie, they switched.
That's amazing.
It was phenomenal. It was one of the best episodes because it was set up like they start out making a sales pitch to like a movie exec. They're like, "We made this movie and we need your help financing it, but we've already made it, so we need to finish it up or whatever." And they show it to her, and that's like a solid 90% of that episode is just watching the movie that they made. And wow, is it a doozy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that show's pretty absurd anyway. Have you seen the episode where they give Frank an intervention?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorites because they decide the whole time during this episode they're drinking wine out of a can because it's incognito.
That's fantastic.
And they're staging an intervention for Frank. And they're like, "Oh, it's not so much that we have a problem with Frank drinking as much as he keeps doing it without us. And we're fun. Like, what's wrong with us?" So eventually he shows up and they're like, oh, he's here. Intervention, intervention. And they're banging on pots and pans. They're like, got you, got you, got you. It's like, we're going to get in your face and point out all your faults.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and then Charlie uses the word intervention to like diffuse a situation. People are starting to get a little riled up. He's like, hey, all right, everybody calm down. It's cool. It's cool. Intervention. Intervention. Using that word to diffuse. I just lost it.
That's
It's
fantastic.
one of those little things that not a lot of people probably found super funny, that one little detail, but I thought it was hilarious.
I was gonna say, you always pick up on like the little things.
I love little things.
That's what she said. That's fantastic. You like my new background now?
Oh, there he is. What's his name again? Cowboy what?
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis and Pee Wee. What are they doing right there?
They're using one of those like people-powered train cars.
Is that is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Do you happen to have a people-powered train car, please? But yeah, one of those things where you do the little seesaw pump up and down with the handles and it makes the train go.
Yep.
I don't know what you'd call that either.
I have no idea what they're called.
This appears to have been assembled by Microsoft Paint.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Even the tracks are really bad.
Even the cacti are really bad.
Cacti looks like it may have actually been on the show, though. It's one of those where the characters and the background are all kind of fuzzy because it's an old show. And then the clip art looking hokey train thing, it looks like something off a geometry test, but all those images are just enough sharper than the other ones that you can tell they're not from the original.
Oh, I bet they are from the original because I think that was a green screen thing where they were like a connect the dots type of deal.
Really?
Yeah, when they do connect the dots and it'd make something and then it would do stuff.
I forgot about that jingle.
Yeah, I think they did a connect. It looks like they did a connect the dots and then made that little train car deal, and then Cowboy Curtis and Pee Wee went on an adventure with it.
Connect the dots. La, la, la. I totally forgot about that.
I want an entire album of Pee Wee singing like that.
La la la. Uh-oh. That's a top seller. Gotta bring it back. Does that guy do anything anymore?
He's doing something not too long ago. I don't remember what it was.
Since his little run-in with the law.
That man sure loved pornography.
Yes, apparently.
You know, I always thought it was funny because he got busted and everyone, oh, he's a pervert. He was playing the pool in a movie theater, and it made it sound like he went to see like Lion King and just sat down, pulled his doodle out, and went to town.
Yeah, dude's playing pocket pool during kids' films.
No, he went to an adult movie theater.
And did what everyone else does in those theaters.
What every other person in that room was probably doing.
You're a celebrity, busted.
Yeah. It's like, you grossed out every person in there. How could you do that to these people? It's like, well, they were doing it too. But they're not Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, how dare you, sir?
Yeah.
Those theaters are, like, I can't believe that was a thing.
What do you mean was?
That's still,
Yeah.
those exist
Yeah.
current day.
Yeah.
But why?
I guess it's more fun with friends. I don't know.
I do not understand that.
Oh, yeah, they have those still.
What kind of, like, you could stand outside of those and you know the clientele that would be going in would just be sketchy. Wait, there's one in Decatur?
Oh, yeah.
Romantics Adult Emporium. There's a movie theater in there?
Ugh. I'm sad I opened this website.
I just thought they sold... No, those drop-down menus.
I'm not going back over them.
No, I don't even want to read them out loud.
Yeah, let's not do that. We're keeping it. We've kept the show clean so far. Let's keep it up.
Oh, no. I wonder if they have a salesman for that. Door to door. Romantics Adult Emporium, door to door.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Got some real flimsy underwears there.
There you go. You can read the description.
Oh, no. Okay. Theaters are the most recent addition to Romantics. Theaters are equipped with big screen HD TVs playing a variety of movies throughout the day. Movie titles change on a daily basis, and stores will accept requests in many cases. Is that a fact? Do y'all have the Outlaw Josie Wales?
Yeah.
There's a variety of comfortable seating covered in various manners of debris, I'm sure, for individuals and couples. Oh, for a small fee, you can watch as long as you stay in the theater. As each movie finishes, we will put in the next. In some cases, if you leave the theater, there is a $1 re-entry fee.
I don't want to be a people anymore.
Oh, it makes me sad.
Yup.
What kind of lonely individual would spend time there?
You should go check.
I absolutely will not. I can promise you that.
Oh, I feel like that would alter your life forever.
I feel like I'd lose so much more faith in humanity.
And that's when Bradley became a serial killer.
I thought people were bad before.
Can't stand them now.
Ugh. I think it's bad enough when people walk out of the bathroom without washing their hands. I saw that happened last week in a Walmart. The dude walked out, and I just thought to myself, I know you're like 78 years old, but wash your hands, dude. It's not that hard.
It takes so much work, though, to use the water.
Guy's like, well, I'm going to rearrange myself so many times, it's going to be like it never happened anyway.
That's the other thing. So many. What is it with dudes? Like, just, you go through Walmart and you'll see guys just like sitting there rearranging themselves like all the time. Like, I don't ever rearrange myself hardly, unless there's a pressing emergency, shall we say. Like something gets out of kilter.
Do you wear cheap underwear?
I don't. Well, probably. I don't know. I don't know what's cheap for guys' underwear.
Did you get it at Walmart?
I did.
That, my friend, is cheap underwear. See, I wore just like Hanes or Fruit of the Loom or something like that for years. And it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I just said, you know what? I wear these every single day. How many times have I spent money on something that would not get 1/100th of the use of what a pair of underwear would? I am an adult. I'm buying nice underwear.
Them poor britches.
Them poor britches. They need to be replaced with quality britches.
Yeah.
So I went to Kohl's and got me a few pair of these dry fit Adidas things. I said, I'll buy one pack and give them a try. And of course, I did what you would expect, paying for them. I've never paid this much for underwear in my life. How dare they? But I checked out, put them on the following morning.
Mm-hmm.
I am born anew.
You didn't wash them?
I bought like 6 more packs. I never wash them. What are you talking about?
I still haven't washed them.
Yeah. I can get to a them poor britches situation. I still won't wash them.
How do you build character? I want underwear with character.
Underwear with character. What does that mean exactly?
A rich patina.
I want them to be savory. He had a real savory pair on.
Is that the aroma?
Yes. How can I describe it? It's kind of like...
That's abysmal.
Have you seen the videos of that guy?
I have. That guy's disgusting.
He's wearing tidy whities, and by the end of the video, the back half of those underwear are completely discolored. I mean, it looks like a coffee filter back
Oh,
there.
man.
It's so bad. But yes, do yourself a favor sometime. Just throw caution to the wind. Buy yourself some nice underwear.
Yeah, I got,
The ultimate underwear.
what's the name of the brand?
Comfy balls. Give your balls what they deserve.
Oh, my gosh.
Performance? This guy is street skiing or something. He's got the poles,
Yeah.
the helmet, the glasses, the gloves,
He's got like
underwear.
bicycle gloves, helmet, and sunglasses on with like ski poles and then like rollerblade skis, and all he's wearing is underwear.
But why? I don't know about this. That pouch is looking a little restrictive.
I was trying to find them because I saw a pair. I got a targeted ad. Oh, there they are.
Oh, the Patriot.
This brand. Okay, let's see if we can find the
Shinesty?
yeah.
What a good name.
Okay, the boxers. Okay, let's see if it.
They had women's boxers too. Is that a thing?
They're not boxers. They're like just regular underwear.
Oh, kind of like the boy cut, whatever.
Here you go. Let's see. Does it have the
That's not symmetrical.
that?
What is that? Ball hammock. Help stop the family jewels from getting crushed in the grundle. This website has got it figured out. This particular pair is called Pecker in the Dark.
Like they've got a little pocket so that it keeps your goodies separated so you don't accidentally sit on your goodies.
There's been way too much research and development going into these.
Oh, what are these called?
You know how when I sit down on a bike seat, it's kind of bad? Let's try and make it good.
Well, every guy that's ever worn like regular boxers, not boxer briefs, has had that unfortunate incident where you're hot and sweaty and then you go to sit down, you sit down wrong, and you land on one of your newts.
Yeah. Owie. That is why I only wore.
them.
That's why I only wore it.
Oh, tarnation.
I only wore boxers for like year and a half, 2 years, and then I switched to boxer briefs. Why do those have puppy dogs right on the middle of the underwear, on the hammock area?
Ugh.
Why? Oh, that one's got a polar bear.
The Hoghound St. Bernard ball hammock boxer briefs. The pug smugglers.
No, this website is too much.
Okay, let's see. Is there any? Oh, there's got to be. Like, these are all 50 Shades of Gonads.
But they're just gray.
Uh,
Wait, do those look like jeans?
yeah. Well, let's see if they have a name.
It says denim and beer.
Uh-oh.
And it has like a Budweiser looking logo on one of them. And then the other pair just looks like jean shorts, only they're boxers.
Lordy.
That's pretty rough. Were you shooting for it there? A swing
bit.
and a miss from Daniel's butt.
Oh, man. My tummy don't feel so good, son.
You're leaning to the side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
Trying to summon something.
Oh, there you go. Get matching his and hers.
You know what? When it comes to underwear, I want a match.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the nutcracker.
You knew that was coming at some point.
I knew it. I don't
Oh,
know.
my. I think we hit the end of this road.
Buh. But look at, like, the way those are shaped, they're designed to be
Accentuating.
they're designed to be supportive. And I understand the purpose there, but through their support, they are also kind of achieving a lack of room. I like to breathe. I don't like to be crowded.
Are we going to get a pair of these and try them?
No.
I think they'll sponsor us if we do.
I'd rather make underwear out of duct tape and wear that.
Sticky side out or sticky side in?
Out. So I can roll around on the floor at the barber shop.
Gosh. He's wearing some fur undies.
That guy's out of control. Holy cow.
Yep, they make women's too. They're just regular undies though.
Nah.
That's not as funny. Free money.
You got to get the ads. Do you want $20? Click on here, fill out a survey. I'll give you $20. That's bad. We are Googling underwear right now. Well, you Googled underwear separates balls.
We found them though, didn't we?
Yes, you did. It's called the Separaton 5000.
Separates everything and there's 3 different little pockets.
It's called the Moses Red Sea underwear.
It parts everything.
Wow! These are a little snug.
That's fantastic though.
I don't know that I would go with fantastic on that, but
Well, I sure got a good laugh out of them, so I would say fantastic.
yes, the comedic value, fantastic. The fit and finish, a little bit less.
And now we both own a pair. Just kidding.
I was going to say, I didn't see you purchase anything.
Get home and from farming next week, and there'll be a package on your door. What the heck is this?
Daniel sent me a gift. What'd he get me?
Hey, it's cool if bros buy each other undies, right? It's not gay.
That's not crossing a line.
It's cool. It's totally cool.
Is it, though?
You gotta yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That would fall under the category of an inappropriate gift.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure people, I imagine that's something you get more on like a second or third date with a lady or something like that. Some creepy guys just like, I got you something. Really, really flimsy underwear.
It cost me 35 cents on Amazon, free shipping.
These are super flimsy. Where's your butt supposed to go?
Oh, people are so gross.
I know. Creepy dudes are creepy. Have you seen the show You
No.
on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
You should watch it.
Is it good?
It is very strange, but good. It's kind of like a love story between this guy and this girl. And anybody that's seen the show is probably screaming at me for even describing it in that way. The off-kilter part is the fact that he is in love with this girl. She winds up falling in love with him too, but what she doesn't know is that he has basically been stalking her since she met him.
That's
And
awesome.
like people that kind of interfered in her life and like interfered with the relationship, he would insert himself and like stalk them as well.
That's creepy.
You got to stop touching that stuff.
I know. It's getting all like wonky over here.
You're
though.
adjusting your mic frequently.
Well, like this is not so bad as long as you go with it.
There you go.
But this, well, I had to adjust the pop filter because I was looking at it and I had clamped it down so it wouldn't move. And I realized that the way it sits with the racetrack for the cable,
Yeah.
the little lip that went over was starting to cut a hole in the cable.
Uh-oh. You are bad.
So I loosened it and now it's all loppy jawed.
Uh-oh. Anyway, quick derail.
Yeah, sorry.
We're good at that.
That's basically, that should have been what the show was called. A
Uh-oh.
quick derail.
Quick derailed again. Anyway, this guy is just creeping on this girl, and you know, he's the kind of weird guy that's like hanging out outside of her window and like breaking into her house and getting on her laptop and stuff like that. But he manages to keep it under the radar to where she thinks he's normal for a good chunk of it, and like it's
I bet
very well written.
I bet that show gets better later when it because she'll find out eventually.
That's the way that show has to go. Could you imagine the disappointment if you watched an entire season of a show with that storyline and she just never found out?
She gets married and they have a happily ever after, and that's the end of the show. And you're just like, no, you can't end it this way.
Yeah. Like, and they lived happily ever after. Aw.
Oh man,
But good show. Watch it when you get a chance.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah. It's one of those that's not really like, it kind of falls in the suspense category. It's not
Right.
like a horror show or anything, but it's not really like a full-blown love story. It's one of those that kind of bridges a weird in-between space with a few different genres, but it does it very well.
Interesting. I'd see it.
It's worth checking out.
It's worth a Google.
It's definitely worth a goggle.
What's that from? I always hear people say that. It's apparently from something.
Yeah.
You should Google it. It's worth a Google.
I feel like that's a Zach Galifianakis thing, and I can't remember
Like
what.
90% positive that's who said it. I just don't know what show. Well, when we go to break, I'll look it up.
Did you ever... You watch a lot of the Between Two Ferns that Galifianakis did?
I have not watched many of those at all, but
You see the Hillary Clinton one?
I saw part of that one, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to stroke out. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
It was back when he said, now you're a secretary, right? She said, yeah, I'm Secretary of State. He goes, so if you're Obama's secretary, let me ask you this. How does he like his coffee? Like himself? Weak.
Oh yeah. Did you see the comedians in cars getting coffee? Where I think that's what the show was on. Where Seinfeld ends up going on his show. So like they have a section of Between Two Ferns on the show.
I've seen Galifianakis's, but it's also been like a year and a half since I've watched that show. So
I think
I
it's
don't
that show. There was another show where they did that. And they go. I think I'm positive it was that one. It was pretty fantastic because he just basically makes fun of Jerry for not being funny, and then Jerry just kind of.
yeah, that's sounding more and more familiar. It's just been so long that I can't recall specifics on it.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I agree. I love that show.
Oh,
I was
it's so
just
good.
talking to Nicole's dad about it recently because he's a really big car fan. So I was telling him all about the super cool, unique cars at the beginning. And it's not always just like, oh, here's this $3 million Lamborghini, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is a weird, junky little thing, but it's super unique because there's only like 250 of them in the whole world.
Like a Volkswagen thing or something like that.
Yeah. Some
Those
of
things are weird.
really strange stuff.
Or that Italian, like 3-wheeled open car with like the tassels and stuff.
So strange. They got some really odd ones on there.
They had, who was it that was on that? That was the guy that did the voice of the dog on The Secret Life of Pets. What was that guy's name? Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He took him in that one.
Yeah, that's right. That was back before Louis Gate.
Yeah.
And he got himself in trouble.
Did you ever? So I was listening to Rogan, and they were talking about him. Him and I think it was Segura were talking about Louis C.K. And I guess what he got in trouble for was like he'd pull his stuff out and like play with it in front of people.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And he did that to some lady, and she freaked out and then did the hashtag Me Too thing to him. But like Segura was talking about it, it was like you didn't hang out with him, and that didn't happen to you at least once. It's like that's just what he did when he got drunk.
Oh, jeez.
And so so then I start thinking, if you know it's coming and then you throw him under the bus, like definitely he shouldn't do it. But at the same time, if you walk into an adult movie theater and see some guy with his putt out, is it that guy's fault or your fault for walking in the theater?
He's notorious for it.
Yeah.
He got a little lit up, and you're hanging around him. Some suspect activities bound to happen, but
Like,
that doesn't necessarily excuse it. That doesn't excuse it at all.
No, but I mean, if you have that friend that, like, there's the people that drink. There's always the one guy that, like, if he drinks, gets like nude occasionally. It's like if you have that friend, you can't hashtag me to him because he got nude. I feel like if you don't want to see that, don't go drinking with the guy.
Yeah, you're drinking with a guy who openly told you he wanted to play strip Uno.
Yeah, before he started drinking.
Uh-oh, draw 4.
Yeah. That's my favorite card. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I saw that happen once where someone said, uh-oh, draw 4. And it was supposed to be like one sock or whatever.
yeah.
But with uh-oh, draw 4, it was whole shebang. And it was pure comedy.
That's funny. I don't know. It was an interesting sidetrack I had on that.
Yeah, obviously people mess up. People make mistakes. Mm-hmm. The thing that I don't like is that when people screw up, if they actually are repentant and they say, okay, I messed up, I have learned my lesson, that's when you have the opportunity for a real redemption story. And people love a good redemption story, but nowadays people are trying to put the brakes on that before it ever is even possible, where it's like, this guy messed up once, he's done forever.
Right. Well, and the thing was with him, like, I guess he doesn't do that anymore. Like, he got in trouble with someone else for doing it.
I would hope not.
Well, the thing was, the lady he did it to in like 2000 or something like that.
Yeah. And wait, I can get attention about it now. So now I'm going to bring it up. Yeah. I didn't care then. 2012,
2014, I'm going to bring it up now, 14 years later.
Yeah. That is the part of that whole thing that rubs me wrong.
Yeah. If you have an issue, do it then. And, you know, I can see people being upset about something like that, not knowing when to actually say it. But if it's been 14 years, 7 years is a statute of limitations for legal matters. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can understand when it comes to like assault and stuff.
Yeah, like a straight assault, like a Bill Cosby.
Stuff like that. And like people that are younger that happens to, like sometimes they're just terrified. They don't want to say anything. They feel like it's their fault. It's just a horrific experience and they feel unsafe to talk about it with anybody. But this is a professional comedian tugging on his noodle in front of you, goofing around. I'm gonna wait 14 years and then all of a sudden feel that it's acceptable to say I was horrified and scarred. It's like, nah, there's nobody really suppressing you at that age. Like right. you didn't care about it until you figured out you could get attention for caring about it.
Well, and I could see like with the Bill Cosby thing, like if if you didn't think you could do anything, you didn't want to get ruined, so you just kind of let it go, and then someone started putting the monster away, and you're like, okay, I'm going to help put this guy away. He's a creeper.
Yeah,
That's
see
different.
that.
But if you have some guy that 14 years ago got drunk and went, whoa, like he was not. Who knows? I may be hearing the story wrong, so maybe he was being a total creepwad or something about it, which is possible. I mean, I'm not discounting the lady's story exactly.
Yeah,
but
we don't know the facts. We just know the generalities, and that's not always good enough.
I know what I know. Is all I know. Kind of a deal. You know what I mean? Like,
What does that mean?
the very little I have heard is what's in my brain. That's pretty much all I've got. But I feel like if it's the way it sounds like, that would be kind of the way. I don't know.
If it's not the way it sounds like,
Yeah, if it was
then you're a huge scumbag.
right, pretty much. But no, I mean, like if it was just some dude who pulled out his doodle at a party and everyone's just like, oh, gross. And then one person later was just like, hashtag me too, 14 years later. Like, what the heck, man? But if it was like he was in a car with this lady and was like, hey, you're pretty, and then pulls his stuff out, then yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, there's a definite difference between somebody drunkenly screwing around and being an idiot and straight up targeting you for some manner of assault or like making movements that are uninvited and stuff. Like that's a different thing. It feels different, and I know it felt different to her, but she realized that
Well,
she could just make a big stink out of it and get attention out of it.
well, and the other thing too is if let's say she had done that had happened to her, she came out 2 weeks later instead of 14 years later, and it offended her or whatever, or she felt threatened. I mean, I can understand it to a certain extent too, because people have different tolerances for things like that. Like, I mean, I know you've had guy friends that would randomly pull things out as a funny joke.
It's just guys horsing around. Nudity's a part of the deal sometimes when you're just young and immature.
But then, you would understand if there was someone that you did that to and they were grossly offended by it. You'd be like, oh, yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. But like most times, everybody is respectful enough to where they can say, okay, there's like ladies here. I'm not going to be ridiculous. Or like they're screwing around doing Dance Dance Revolution naked or something like that. Then they see headlights come in my driveway and they instantly dive to the floor like,
Yeah.
I got to get out of here.
Well, yeah, and that's, I feel like that's kind of how it is too. Like, I don't know.
There has to be a level of respect, and I feel like Louis did not show much respect there.
Right.
But he wasn't really in his right mindset either, but still. It all so much of that pivots on whether he is repentant or not.
Oh, yeah. He flat out came, as soon as they posted that, he flat out came out and apologized. And it messed his career up some, but
yeah.
I mean, he flat out came out, said, yeah, I did that. I'm sorry I did that. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah, and that's definitely a big deal because everybody screws up. People like to put the scale on there and say, well, this is the unforgivable one and whatever. But I mean, people mess up, and the important thing is to learn your lesson from that.
Right. Well, and it's like we were talking about last time, how there was things that you learn not to do we were talking about the musicians or whatever that do stupid stuff on stage. What was it like I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like I think they had one of the examples was the guy that did solos that were too long,
Oh yeah,
or the guys that have the local band moves, or like the guy you're talking about that had the wireless, and was just walking around through the crowd, and everyone's just,
what's he doing?
It's like we said, you do dumb things and then you learn from them. Like if you keep doing that dumb thing, then you're an idiot.
Exactly, because everybody on this planet has done dumb things in their life. And the question is, have you learned from them? Mm-hmm. And that's something that is a big deal. And what's really difficult, I feel like, is when you do dumb stuff, okay, if you repent for it, you can apologize to whoever you've wronged and they can forgive you and you can move on. but then there's always that inner struggle of forgiving yourself and just beating yourself up constantly. And I think that kind of thing, because people in general screw up so frequently, they don't know how to reconcile that in their heads. And I'm preaching to the choir here on this one, where they wind up beating themselves up and then they wind up loathing themselves. And it's just a sketchy place to be.
Well, and
mental health.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, and I forget. There was another one I saw that would fall in this same bucket, but there was a guy that's maybe a news guy or a politician or someone like that, or maybe he's a comedian. I don't remember. There was some sort of person in the news, and ended up getting called out for being a racist or whatever because he made like a home video when he was 14 where he said, I think, the N-word or something like that. And he was like, he's like, I said that when I was that age. I hadn't said it since. And I know it was bad now. I'm not going to do it again. He's like, I'm not a racist. I was a stupid child.
Yeah.
And they're
it's
all like,
immaturity.
He's a racist. He's a dirty racist.
Yeah. He's just like, I was young and dumb and I messed up. And they're all like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You're busted, mister.
Well, yeah. No one wants to see people get better anymore. They just want to see people burn.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's like, I think we talked about this at one point before, is like the politics thing. Everyone gets so polar on that stuff. And really what you need to do is find the middle ground. I mean,
yeah, you need to be able to listen to each other without just waiting for your turn to shut other people down.
yeah, it's not about getting your YouTube bite where you're shutting up the college liberal professor or the right-wing nut job or whatever. It's like, if that's the goal, then you're an idiot. I mean, that's plain and simple. You're a moron. That's like, I think it was on Rogan. He was talking about, I reference Rogan a lot. I should probably listen to things other than Rogan sometime.
He has interesting guests. What do you do?
But they were talking about Trump, and he was talking about how he didn't like Trump, and then he said something like, but I hope he does good. And then they said something, and then one of the guest was like, yeah, but there's people out there that are like, I hope he fails. And he's like, yeah, you want the guy that's in charge of the country to fail. You know, he's like, you know what that means? That means the country is failing.
Good point.
It's like, you want him to fail you want him to ruin the country out of spite so you can go, ha ha, I told you he was bad.
Yeah, that's how much more it is important to people to be right instead of have what's best for everyone happen.
Cutting off the nose to spite the face.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He called it.
Yeah.
Right on the nose.
Oh, I see what you did there. I don't know. I just feel like people anymore are just so dumb about stuff like this. It's all about being right. It's not about getting things done.
Yeah. It's true. It's all about
how right am I?
How right am I? It doesn't really matter what the greater good is. What matters is I'm right and you're wrong.
And me.
Oh, and also me.
It's so bad. That's why everything's so weird right now.
Yeah, we have such an absurdly selfish society now. Mm-hmm. It is just mind-boggling.
Well, it's like I've talked to people who are on both sides of that political debates. And what's funny is if you talk to the real people, you start out and they'll be very whatever side they are, very just black and white. This is how it goes. But then after you actually get them to drop that wall down, that force field of, I'm going to quote whatever I saw on Fox News and or MSNBC, and you knock that down and you get them to actually talk, and half the time everyone's agreeing on things. They just don't agree on the mode of getting there. It's like, well, this is messed up and we should fix it this way. And the other one says, well, it's messed up. I think we should fix it this way. It's like, well, how about we meet in the middle and just try something to fix it?
Yeah. Like I've seen people that have conservative values in general when it comes to abortion and when it comes to responsible spending of money and whatnot. They have conservative mindsets, but then they turn around and vote liberal because I was in a union, so I'm going to vote liberal no matter what.
Right. Or you have the ones that, like, yeah, well, for instance, take global warming or climate change or whatever they call it.
It's not called global warming anymore.
Yeah. Like you have one side where they'll say, oh, it's not real, or there's nothing we can do about it, or blah blah blah.
It's a hoax.
We shouldn't do anything. Then you have the other side that's like New Green Deal. Did you ever see what that was?
No, I didn't.
I guess I could open it and read it, but I know that one the factual ones was they wanted to knock down and or rebuild every building in the United States to come back and rebuild it as a green building.
What does that mean?
Like
all made
energy,
with recycled material and
probably. I would say green energy, more energy efficient, things like that. And then another one was I don't think it was outlawing carbon engines, but it was putting huge tariffs or huge tax on any kind of carbon emission at all. So basically, they wanted to get rid of all airplanes. What was the other one? Guarantee a job for every American.
How?
So like bonkers. Like, yeah, if you told me we can do all of these things and it's going to just be easy, no extra cost, it's going to be fine, I'd be like, okay, let's do it then. But when you just throw it out there, the rational brain says there's no possible way you can do this without jeopardizing my great-great-grandchildren's futures, and just in terms of what they can even do.
Yeah, that's largely what I've seen a lot in politics is they make really big promises and people argue over a lot of stuff. But the things that they want to promise overall are good things where like, we want affordable health care for everyone. The problems come into effect when they discuss how to do it.
Bradley, you don't want every single American to have a job. You want people to be unemployed. You don't like people to have jobs.
That's it.
That's why you don't like this, isn't it?
Only people I hate, which is 80% of the population.
But then at the same time, we're definitely making a difference, like in terms of climate change. Like people are definitely making some difference. Whether it's how big it is and how much of it is just the natural cycle of the earth has been debated, but we're definitely accelerating the process in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And, we don't need to have, it'd be like, don't get me wrong. I would love if we got away from fossil fuels. Like if we found some way that we could efficiently do that without just either destroying the environment or making us all $200,000 or $300,000 in debt, I'd be okay with it. Like if they could bring out a Tesla and it would be the same price as a regular car and I was going to buy a regular car, sure, I'd buy a Tesla, give it to me.
I'd buy a Tesla too. That's the thing. It's a good idea, but the problem is how they put it into effect because they want to essentially bully you into doing things their way, which would automatically require you to, say they put out some kind of mandate that every house has to have solar panels on it and you have to be the one to buy solar panels. Well, it's like some people don't have $8,000 sitting around to put a solar system in their house.
Yeah.
Well, not a solar system. But,
but yeah. But yeah, no, what's funny too is if you bring that up, so if they said, we're going to outlaw, I don't know that I'm sure someone's saying it, but just let's say they said, we're going to outlaw fossil fuel cars entirely. You have to buy electric from now on. And then the electric cars are $40,000. And you say, well, there's a lot of people that can't afford it. The response will be, well, then the government should buy it for them.
Yeah. And who's going to pay the bill there? Where does the government get their money? Huh.
Yeah. I saw a meme and it said, the government doesn't pay for anything. The citizens pay for everything or something like that.
That's true.
Yeah. Or no, it was healthcare. It was like there's no such thing as government-funded healthcare. There's just citizen-funded healthcare or something like that. Basically that's what it is. If it's coming from taxes, we're paying for it. And what gets me is you always have the people that'll talk, all this money's condensed in the rich people, which is true. There's a lot of people that have the wealth, the large majority of the wealth. But those are the people making the rules. Do you really think those folks are going to be like, yeah, you can take my money? Because if they were going to do that, they'd just give it to you anyway.
Yeah.
If they're not already giving it to us and they're the ones in charge of the law, they're not going to be the ones that give the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see both sides of some of that stuff. Like just sitting back and letting things keep going. Things are eventually going to get totally out of whack. But at the same time, you can't just reinvent the wheel tomorrow without screwing every single person.
Yeah, it's true. It's tricky. Everybody's got their opinion on how to do stuff, but
Well, and that's what I was saying was when you get to that point, what we should be doing is not going over how we're different. It's like, okay, what part of these do we agree on? It's like, okay, well, we agree that this is happening and we need to change it. Okay. We agree that this would be nice and this would be, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if we start finding the common ground and working from there, we might actually make something happen.
I know. It's that common ground. It seems to be offensive to consider someone else's point of view. Like, I'm right and case closed.
Right.
That's it. But I don't know. The answer seems to be dream big, make it a law, and then tax the crap out of people so you can pay for it. And
Yep.
Illinois is a perfect example
Oh
of
my
that.
gosh. Have you seen the new taxes that are coming down?
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw an article. I had to look it up here. I read it earlier today, and it is basically a list of America's largest cities that are drowning in debt. Top of the list,
Chicago.
Chicago. That is it. Just a quick little synopsis here. It says the two cities with the highest burden, Chicago and New York City.
That doesn't surprise me.
Chicago's combined taxpayer burden is $119,110. New York City's combined taxpayer burden, $85,600. Those are both really high, but Chicago is quite a bit higher. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the government in this state is run so poorly, and then you elect people like Pritzker thinking, oh, well, they're just doing more of the same, where they're making big promises and it all sounds good, but the thing is they got to tax the ever-loving crap out of you to pay for these harebrained ideas.
Oh, I saw where Pritzker was talking about all these taxes, and he said, you know, with our current debt, it's impossible for us to basically beat our debt without increasing taxes, which may be true. I mean, we're so far in the hole, it may not be possible.
Yeah.
But then the very next sentence, he was like, and we need to spend another $39 billion on this, or $3.9 billion on our infrastructure and social programs and education and stuff like that, which don't get me wrong, our education system is totally bunked up, but it's not because we don't have enough money. It's because when we did have enough money, we did stupid crap with it.
Yeah. It's not anything to do with the amount of tax revenue coming in. It has everything to do with how responsibly the tax revenue went back out into different programs. And
we just kept deficit spending for so long, we're just in the hole. Like what we really need to do is just put a freeze it all, say, okay, we'll keep, because we need, Rauner, I liked when he did it the first time, but the fact that he just kept doing it was not good, was when they refused to actually look at a budget that was even close to balance, that wasn't just obnoxiously deficit spending. He was like, I'm not signing it, which was good the first time because it kind of threw cold water on everyone, so to speak, and they freaked out. And then he just kept doing it. So by the end, no one was getting paid. I mean, schools were starting to, like Eastern about went under because of it. I mean, there's a bunch of places that just, and I don't blame him specifically because none of the other people would even work on it. But, I mean, we got to run the place.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you see what your bills are, what your actual bills are, and you don't increase them. And then if you have to raise taxes, you raise them, but put a time limit or something on them, do something so that way you get past it and then people can actually start surviving again.
Yeah. That's the thing is, okay, the answer to any sort of deficit is more money coming in. I need to get paid more for my job. That's why I'm drowning in debt, because I'm not making enough. Well, guess what? You could get a huge raise at work, and if you're still going out and spending like a complete doofus, you're not going to get out of debt that way.
No.
It's like, oh, I got a raise. I'm making twice as much as I used to at my job, so I went and bought a Lamborghini.
Right.
Well, guess what? You're still in debt now because you're stupid.
Well, that's the thing is, if you want to get out of debt, you've got to either increase money or decrease spending. And the best way to get out of it is to do both. So if you have a huge debt and you're having trouble paying it, if you can get a job that pays more money, great. But then you've also got to spend less money than you've ever been spending.
Yeah, that's just the logic of it.
That's how bills work. I don't understand why that's a hard thing to figure out. Like,
That's how bills work, people.
it's like if you have more money, you can pay more bills. So we should get more bills. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Nope.
If I charge $20,000 on my credit card, I can either make more money so the payment's easier, or I can not spend anything ever and slowly pay the debt down, or I can do both. But you can't get more money and then spend more money.
Yeah. Apparently, Illinois didn't get that memo.
No. It's like a 18-year-old who moved out of their house for the first time sort of a deal. It's like, I don't even really know how bills work.
Yeah, pretty much.
And these guys are in charge of our state.
God help us all. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Now that we've had a real serious talk, you ever fart on a chair on a real cold day and you can feel it like warm your cheeks up?
No.
What about when you're outside and you can see the steam, like when you can see your breath?
No, I've not done that either. Well, not that
You
I've
must be
observed.
wearing too much clothing.
I go out there bare bottom.
I let my dogs out in gym shorts. You can see it. You know, if you blast off hard enough.
Blast off. That's funny.
It's still better than the dog farts. I had those before I came over here today. I was sitting on the couch.
You had them. I thought maybe you were talking about your actual dog's farts.
No, my dogs did.
Oh.
That's what I meant. I worded it poorly. But I was sitting on the couch and I was typing something into my phone, and I'm a very one-track person. I can't have the TV going and try and do something on my phone, or else I will have no idea what's going on.
So you can't multi-track record and then mix down?
No. In my brain, it's single track only. I'm a horrific multitasker, just awful. But I paused the show on the TV. I was messing on my phone. Then I hear it.
Uh-oh, the turbo let off.
Yeah. When email's turbo winds down, it smells like sour. It's like a sour dog toot. It's pretty rough. And then he shoots me that look.
Will you love me after this?
That look. He has it in his eyes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But then again, he's a boxer, so he always has that look.
Because he's got the frown.
Yeah.
Like 24/7 frown. Like,
I know. The slightly, like the really wide open eyes that are just a little sunken on the bottom side, and then the big frown. What I tell people is he always has the look on his face like he's drowning in student loan debt. Oh, $215,000 in student loan debt. I'll never be free of it.
he has the face of Illinois.
If only Illinois was at $215,000.
Add some zeros.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to take a break real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Like this? After these messages, we'll be right back. All right.
All right, y'all. Hey, everybody, we're back.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
Fantastic.
Uh-oh, you're busted, mister. That's what I want to say over that music every time.
Okay, so I almost forgot. We're not doing a food episode or anything, but I had a thing for us to try. It's called Portobello Jerky by the brand Savory Wild, which is an awful name.
Savory Wild.
Savory Wild Portobello Jerky.
Hand-picked, marinated, gently dried.
Marinated.
It's done been marinated.
So we're gonna try these roasted garlic and black pepper things. They smell awful.
Hey, this says that it largely has identifiable ingredients in it. Portobello mushrooms, soy sauce, salt, sugar, alcohol, vinegar, light brown sugar, white wine vinegar, blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh, it's got psyllium in it.
It's gonna make us silly?
You know what psyllium is?
No.
Basically, it's like a fiber cereal that is a cure for constipation. On Kenny versus Spinny, when they had their meat eating competition, they had to start eating some psyllium husks. So they said, I need some food to come out of me. I can't just keep putting it in.
So you're saying this will be fun tomorrow?
Well, I don't think eating one little piece will have so much psyllium in it.
Who knows? You may love it and eat the whole bag while you're sitting here.
Yeah, I may
Here,
chomp.
let me get my-
I may chomp one little strip and just crap my pants right here.
I ripped my pants.
I ripped my pants.
I'm gonna poop again. Okay.
That's good jerky.
So these things, they look kind of like beef jerky, except way more unappealing. It's like a, you know what it reminds me of? You have dogs. It reminds me of the pig's ears. You get,
Yeah, it kind of does. Looks a little suspect, but it smells of garlic very strong
Yeah, it
and
does.
soy.
yep. So let's try this. I'm so unhappy with this choice. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I can't tell if I like it or not.
If it was warm and served on top of a piece of meat, it wouldn't be bad. But because it's cold, it's very chewy. Very chewy.
Yeah, it's not like beef jerky chewy where it's kind of got some give. It's like,
I'm digging in deep now. That doesn't taste too great. It's all that lactic acid.
it's going to make you lactate.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. I think 2 pieces is just about enough for that.
I think 1 was enough for that. Ugh. Like, I feel like the marinade and the flavor would be good if it was on anything but that.
Yeah, probably.
Like, if you put a piece of meat in that, it'd been awesome.
Yeah. It needs to be something hot. That flavoring does not go with cold very well.
No, and it doesn't go well with that, like, I don't know how to describe that consistency, like dried out gum from underneath a bench or something like that. It's like kind of chewy, but also breaks when you bite it. It's like you got to get, like, once you get into it, then it just like,
Yeah, it's not like stringy chewy. It's like extremely dense chewy.
yeah. It's like once you actually get into it, it just kind of splits apart. But
But you got to work to get into it.
yeah, I don't think I like that.
Me either, but I'll eat another piece.
I'm pretty sure that tastes as, actually, I think it tastes better than I expected, but pretty dang close. Get a big one. See if a big one's better.
Big one's always better. Go big or go home.
Maybe it's because we're getting these little burnt ends or whatever.
Nope, that's not better.
Yucky.
That's exactly the same.
Do we need a circus peanut to wash it down?
Ugh,
No, you need some more of that taffy, the Casey's taffy.
horrible stuff.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever just sat and watched. It was like instantly as soon as it went in, you're just like, ah!
Nope. No. Ah.
Instant regret.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh.
Is this one giving you that feeling too?
No, it's just stuck in my teeth.
That's getting, so you can savor the flavor later.
I don't want to savor it. I want it to go away.
Oh gosh, I'm just gonna dump those in the floorboard of your car.
Oh. The amount of garlic that's on there,
You can just get in the next day. Oh, what is that?
that'd stink it up real good. Almost as bad as peeling up the carpet on somebody's truck and hiding a turd underneath it like we talked about. It smells like poop in here, but I can't figure out where it's coming from. We put it deep in the depths. I pulled your stereo out and hit a turd back there.
I put it in there and just smashed it with the stereo.
Oh, yeah. What was the best idea we had, though? The tail end.
Oh gosh, you describe it. That was great.
Yeah. You pull out the center section of your steering wheel, you remove the airbag, and you replace it with a mound of feces. You wait until someone gets behind the wheel, and then you run up and hit their front bumper with a sledgehammer until it pops.
Kaboom!
Gotcha! Just an innocent prank.
Yeah. It demolishes your car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and sprays feces over every square inch inside. So, you know, it would But that's such high pressure when it fills those bags that, it would pop it out of there. It would do it so fast and so hard that it would just turn into the tiniest little particles. You'd be breathing it.
Yeah, you would be.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
gosh.
air would be dense.
That is just awful.
Uh-huh.
Enjoying that mushroom over there, are you?
It's still stuck in my teeth.
Oh.
I don't like that feeling. But anyway, I got a story that I got to tell you.
Please do tell.
And it's from that YouTube video that I showed you.
Okay. Which, you go ahead and describe that one because no one here sees it.
What happened was back in probably like early college days.
Back in the early college days.
Back in the day, yeah. My friends and I, we wanted to just go somewhere and hang out for a while. We didn't really have anything to do. We were out of school. And my parents had a timeshare. They were busy enough they weren't going to be able to use it, so they gave it to me. And we're like, hey, Kylie has family down in Arkansas. Like, let's go down there and we can hang out next to Big Creek. That's what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
So we found a little resort place that was like 30 miles from there.
Mm-hmm.
It wound up not being a cool location at all. We showed up and basically they said, you guys are checking in here? Usually everybody that comes here is like 70.
That's funny.
So we were like the gnarly little kids just kind of putting around. We brought multiple Xboxes, multiple TVs, and just played like Halo for a bunch of the time.
That's funny.
And then went swimming in the pool and all that, all those manner of shenanigans.
Sounds like fun.
Yes, but it was just a big group of guys, and we just kind of started pranking each other, and that gradually escalated. And it started out just kind of doing little things here and there, like, oh, somebody came home and like all the cushions were pulled off the couch or something like that, so you couldn't sit there, or stuff was just totally rearranged. And the last night is when it really derailed. And like the guys got home and their bed had been completely disassembled and moved into a different room and reassembled.
That's fantastic.
And we were laughing our butts off over that. So I got it in my head. Lucas was the one that he's a very sound sleeper, and he gets very irritable when anybody wakes him up.
That's funny. I can see
So
that.
I pulled the alarm clock out of my room.
Mm-hmm.
He was sleeping on the hide-a-bed that pulled out of the couch out in the main room. I set the alarm for 3:30 in the morning and hid it underneath the couch where it was completely out of view, and then set an alarm for myself because we had a video camera, and I got up just like 5 minutes before, and I went in there and started rolling, and you just hear beep, 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 and just, he was like fuming. He was so mad. He hates to be woken up. It just kept escalating. The last night, I go to sleep. Nothing really happened. I woke up the following morning, and I thought, I kind of figured I'd be covered in like easy cheese or something like that when
Yeah.
I woke up, but everything seemed normal in my bedroom. I go to walk out the door into the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn the doorknob and I push it. It goes about 1.5 inches to 2 inches and stops. I said, what the heck is this? So I shove into it and realize it has a little bit of give to it. So I push in on it and peek around. And what I realized is, you know, the old trick where the doors that open inward, people will like tie the doorknobs together. So
Yeah.
go back and forth. Well, these doors opened out. So what are they to do? The other guys took all the mattresses off the beds and just jammed them next to each other in the hallway. So it sandwiched it solid and the doors would not open out. So I couldn't go. But thankfully, I had a balcony there. I was like, okay, at least I can get out on the balcony. And it has, like, there's a door to the balcony into my bedroom and then another door that goes into the living room.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'll go out there. So I open the sliding door and I step out. They had crumbled an entire box of saltines directly out there, and I was barefoot. I step in crackers. I've got like crumbs all over the place. I laughed. I was grateful it wasn't like peanut butter or something gross, but I guess I didn't want to have to
Actually clean it up later.
actually clean it up. Yeah. That they could just brush it off the edge and the birds would take care of it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I finally get out into the living room. I'm like, what the heck went on last night? And they're like, oh, you don't know? Did you sleep through the whole thing? And I'm thinking to myself, the whole thing.
That sounds
What
ominous.
on earth does that mean? I said, I don't have a clue what went on. You should tell me, I suppose. And they said, well, we can just show you the tape. I was like, oh, this sounds like a great idea. Show me the tape. What are you doing?
I thought you were showing a video.
Oh, you want to watch it over here?
Sure.
I can do that. But yes, they show me this video, and it starts out with a little saltine box puppet made, and it's got weird-looking little lips and sunglasses, and it starts like this.
I'm so hungry I could eat fried boots and green gravy.
And a lighter, and they try and light the lips on fire.
Oh no, my lips are on fire. I'm so hungry I could eat fried. Ouch, it's starting to burn. I'm gonna get these glasses off, they're gonna catch on fire.
Welcome to the cooking show with Colby and Kylie. Today we're gonna make a special.
All right, it's a cooking show.
Oh my gosh. Colby's not wearing a shirt. and
I'm pretty sure he's in a Speedo.
Oh Lord.
And then Kylie has got like a towel on his head
It
and
looks like boxers or something maybe.
striped shirt, and I'm pretty sure it's little kid dinosaur tidy whities. It's just, they're like, we're recording something ridiculous. It may as well be
Totally
as
ridiculous.
ridiculous as it gets.
Special mixture for Mr. Lucas Mountain. We're gonna start off with putting in some non-stick cooking spray on the inside of the blender just to make sure nothing
Yeah, they got a
sticks together.
blender.
All right, that's what we're gonna.
And
put.
what happened here is basically this was the last night we were staying at this place. We had leftover groceries. We did not want to drive from Arkansas all the way back to Illinois with all this food. We said, let's get rid of it right now. And this is how they got rid of it
Oh Lord.
over the night. So they got a blender out. They
Oh,
said,
no.
let's make a concoction. And somehow they talked Lucas into drinking it. Yep.
Now, after we put on the non-stick spray, we're gonna add some water to make sure we don't get too dry on our mixture. Just about
What kind of voice is he even doing?
I don't know.
About a cup. All right.
He's got a broom.
Then first we're gonna add a couple spoonfuls of this peanut butter into it. Add away, Mr. Colby.
Got to start with peanut butter.
Look
Oh
at
my
that jelly.
gosh.
So great and delicious.
Is that jelly
I love
too?
jelly. And then
looks
what
like
we're
it.
gonna do is to spray a little ketchup and mustard inside there for you.
Ugh.
Peanut butter,
That's a big
jelly.
Make sure you shake it.
You gotta
Ketchup
shake
and
it
mustard.
Like you shake your booty. Isn't this looking so good already? So you're gonna add some mustard in there like this? Not too. And then next after you add your mustard and ketchup, you add a little bit of flour. About that much right there.
Oh,
And
this
then
is.
add some of the goldfish. Yes. Cheetos. And
What was that?
strawberry Pop-Tart.
Goldfish and Cheetos and a strawberry
And then
Pop-Tart.
the secret ingredient mixture that is
Zoom in on that.
that is coffee grounds, salt, pepper. What else is in there?
Onion powder.
Onion powder.
Onion powder!
Italian seasoning. Wow. And then you mix it up.
This.
You mix this sucker up like it's never been mixed before. Mwah.
If I didn't know you guys, I would assume that drugs started this.
Nope, not even close.
Oh,
See, dinosaur tidy whities.
Oh.
So they mix this thing up.
Yeah, we can skip past the blending part.
Okay. You got to see him pour it into a cup.
This is the color you want. Oh, it smells so good.
Why are you laughing when you say that?
Oh my gosh. Add more water. Okay, we're gonna add more water.
It's too thick.
Oh,
it's
so bad.
undrinkable.
You smell that? Lucas, don't smell it. You gotta plug your nose.
I dump it back into the blender and it barely comes out of the cup.
Oh my god.
That's like
You don't
slightly.
have to blend it again, dude.
Yeah. How much? Oh, it's so bad.
All right, so they blend it all. See if I can find when they actually give this to Lucas. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
They find him in the bathroom and give it to him.
Might as well. That's where it's going to end up. I'll puke that
Let me
stuff out.
go in here.
You better drink it in there. You're gonna puke.
Drink it in there. Drink it in there.
Dude, you're
Drink
gonna,
it in the
you're-
bathroom. Go in the bathroom. Do I gotta do the whole thing?
This is the grossest thing I've
As
ever
much as you
smelled.
can.
Just go in the bathroom,
Go
dude.
in the bathroom.
Go
No, I'm right here. I'm good.
Dude, you're gonna puke.
Oh my gosh.
Put a towel down or something. Somebody find a towel and put down. Because
Just go in the bathroom.
he's gonna blow
No,
chunks.
no. I'm right here.
You got this, dude.
Do it.
He's ready. Oh, and the look.
What did I agree to?
Exactly.
You can do this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That was awful.
Yes. That when I woke up in the morning, they said, "I guess we'll just show you the video," and that's what it was.
So you missed out.
Exactly. We got leftover groceries, put them all in a blender, make a cooking show about it, dump it into a wine glass, make a friend drink it. He pukes in the toilet. Video over.
Oh my gosh. That was Randy.
Yeah, that was a doozy.
Oh man.
Weekend full of pranks there.
That makes me think whenever we do that wasabi cinnamon roll thing, we definitely need buckets.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I have a pretty, I don't know, I have a ridiculous gag reflex. Like, I gag easily, but not from bad tasting things, just from like, you know, if I brush my tongue and my toothbrush gets a little too far back, I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
But I can eat something that's absolutely rancid. And a lot of that is because I'm an odd individual. I have an abnormally narrow esophagus. So
I have a narrow urethra.
I got a narrow urethra. Mine's so dang wide I could pass the child myself. That was cotton,
yeah.
of course. But my esophagus is just narrow enough at the opening. They have like a procedure where they can stretch it a little bit, but for whatever reason, I always choked on stuff very easily. I'd choke on hot dogs when I was a kid. I still, to this day, can't swallow pills very well, so I just chew pills up. And as long as they're not like timed release, whatever, if
Chew
they're
up a
just
Vicodin, yours.
oh, yikes, you'd be screwed.
Right in the lightning there.
Yeah, but I can chew up like ibuprofen or something like that. It
Yeah.
tastes absolutely horrendous,
Yeah, it
and
does.
it doesn't affect me at all. So I have a very high tolerance for bad tasting things. So bring on the pain is
Yeah.
what I'm telling you. I'm gonna show you who's boss, brother, when the madness gets involved.
What's funny is if we do that challenge, what's going to happen is I'll cook a bunch of food, right? So like I'll make the cinnamon rolls and whatever else I decide to make. And I plan on making everything, like not telling anyone what it is until we're done.
There you go.
Like
You're the ringleader, and you're the only one that's gonna have the answer key.
pretty much, which I don't want to eat them. And because I'm making them, it won't be as big a reaction because I'm going to know what's happening, but I'm still going to have to because Everyone else does.
Yeah. Well, if it's a game show, you can be the host.
Yeah.
You can try it because it's funny.
Yeah. Try it. Be like, this is going to be bad.
Oh, no. You are bad. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm a true boy where I see the comedic value of eating things that taste bad, of smelling things that smell bad. Hey, this smells like crap. Smell it. I will absolutely smell it every time.
Like that Dane Cook thing where he's talking about smelling the black marker. Smell it. Tastes like a butthole or smells like a butthole.
Yeah. I smelled it enough that I think I just saw Jesus's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I've got to get a list going of all the things I'm going to make. I've got two in my. One of them you know about. The other one, I've got another one in my brain that we're going to try. It's going to be awful.
Oh,
Like pure awful.
I can't wait.
That one, it won't be as bad as wasabi cinnamon rolls, but it's going to be bad.
Wasabi cinnamon rolls.
That's going to be awful.
What a terrible idea. Wasabi tastes awful to begin with.
You might want to end with that one because that one can make you puke because of how strong the flavor is, just because it's so strong.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Isaac about that because I think he's going to bring his video stuff and we're going to try to actually make a YouTube video out of it.
Yes.
And I was talking to him about it, and I told him the wasabi cinnamon roll. I was like, but by the end of it, I'm probably going to just make it was you I was talking to. I was like, I'm going to just make a couple real ones too, just so.
A couple real cinnamon rolls?
Yeah, just so at the end people can like you guys have been tortured enough, have something good.
Yeah. Or you could just use it to cleanse your palate between. Oh. If I'm guessing the ingredient, I need a palate cleanser.
So this would be one that I should probably write down or not tell you since it'd be on there, but what about if I put those in bread? Like instead of having like cinnamon raisin bread, you had those things.
Portobello jerky bread.
That sounds awful.
I bet because of that flavor, if you integrated it into something sweet, I bet it'd be even worse. Cake. Something like that.
Better.
Sweet and roasted garlic, black pepper do not go together. Like sweet and soy sauce, that's, I don't know. That's an odd one.
I have it, and I'm going to do it.
Oh,
So I'm going to have to keep those around, I guess.
there you go. Well, I sure as heck don't think anybody's going to eat them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to not lose them too.
Yeah, that's the big concern is losing them, not anyone eating them, because no one in their right mind would do that.
Mom said she didn't mind them. I was like, Mom, how can you not mind these?
Just the texture alone made it womp womp. Well.
Let's see.
Let's see. What would be some other good ideas for disgusting stuff? Because what you need is conflicting, strong flavors.
Well, like things like garlic
Yes.
is real strong. So if you paired it with something that it does not go with, it's going to be just catastrophic.
You know what is an obscenely strong garlic flavor? There is a sauce in the seafood section of Walmart that is like a shrimp scampi sauce. It is so heavy on the garlic. I thought, okay, it's a little bit of a sauce. I'll add some to this beef jerky marinade that I'm using. I dumped maybe like 2 tablespoons in there, and it was all I could taste. It overpowered so much.
Here's one.
Garlic ice cream.
Tell me if this would be bad. So I make a donut, and then I fill it with cocktail sauce.
Oh. Cocktail sauce would be pretty bad. You could fill it with all kinds of stuff.
I almost feel like that could be a whole episode. Is just donuts filled with awful fillings.
Yes. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Oh, I like that. Smart man.
we'll start thinking. Those things are going to be hilarious. I guarantee you, if we have this stuff on YouTube, people will like the show. But as soon as they see something like that, that'll be the one that gets the 100,000 views.
Yeah. Just strictly for the great ideas.
Oh,
So you can
gosh.
get one of your video friends to put a little tag at the bottom of what it actually is.
Oh yeah, we'll be able to do that easy.
We'll do some video stuff because I sure can't do it, but we know people that are very talented with that.
Indeed, we do.
All right. Well,
Let's see.
we're out to almost 2 hours.
Wow. Tonight went real well. I mean, like, not like real well, but I mean, like, I feel like it went fast.
Yeah, it totally did. Time flies when you're talking about taxes and Louis C.K. pulling his pud out.
Pud. Pud's a great word.
Oh, yeah. I went to high school with two guys nicknamed Pud and Turd.
I wonder what Pud's up to these days.
I don't know, man. He seemed like the kind of guy that would work at an auto parts store.
Okay, so yeah, probably. You probably find him at AutoZone.
Get in the zone. Auto zone.
O'Reilly's.
Oh. I went into O'Reilly's today to try and find some touch-up paint for my truck. And I said, the work truck edition trucks, those are all pretty much like a Summit white, if they're the white color, right? And they're like, we have universal white. I was like, okay. There's another, like, this one's like regular white. I said, okay, I'm going to go.
That's awesome.
Because this guy doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, I just need one. I've got three foods for that show. I just need one more. I think that'd be perfect. Four things to try.
And how many people are going to be in here trying them?
I know Alex is coming.
Yes.
You and I are coming. I think Kylie's down.
We just got to line out a time.
Yep, and I think I talked Isaac into doing the video for us.
There you go. So we should make some for him too so he can try it?
There'll be plenty, I'm sure.
There you go. I was going to say, just make sure you make enough for everybody to have their own serving because they're going to clean their plate.
I'm pretty sure, like the cinnamon roll, I could make one cinnamon roll and just cut it into quarters and put it out there.
No way. Eat the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Be a man.
That'd be just pure torture.
Yeah, it really would.
You should come up with some ideas for the donut thing too.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Actually, you could do the donuts probably. Because just get the biscuit dough donuts. Just do the biscuit dough, and then, because I mean, all you need to do then is get like a turkey baster or whatever.
Yep.
Then you just put them in your air fryer or whatever, cook them up, and then squirt stuff in there.
There you go.
I'll make this stuff. You make the donut ones.
Cool.
You come up with some good ones. I still think cocktail sauce would be like a great one.
That would be a good one.
Would, especially if you didn't tell anyone, so like everyone else is here and they just don't know. Oh, it's gonna be bad. Because that's a strong flavor as it is.
Oh yeah. There's lots of strong flavors out there though.
Yeah.
Hot sauce donut.
Throw some sriracha in there.
Oh, we got some thinking to do.
I think if you did sriracha though, it's a strong flavor, like it's strong hot and it's got some flavor, but you'd have to mix something with it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be just one ingredient. They're like, it's a donut with ketchup in it. Yeah. No, you can make it ketchup and something else.
Ketchup and mayonnaise donut.
Yes. I'm just going to start pulling stuff out of my fridge and just take bowls and just start mixing stuff together and say, yep, that's awful.
And there's no rule in there that says it has to be a paste or a liquid. You could totally blend something into a paste.
Oh, bless the Lord.
Like you could.
Oh, my soul.
You could totally turn pickles into a goo. Something like that.
Oh, isn't that what relish is?
Pretty much. I mean, go all the way. So it's actually straight up just something you can squirt into a donut. Squirt some pickles in there.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Potted meat.
Yes. Once I get done with the planting season, that's when this little ordeal needs to happen.
Yeah, it's because it's going to take us a little while to plan, at least the first one, even.
Exactly.
So that'll be, I think Alex is down for filling in when you're in planting.
Cool.
I'll double check with that. So maybe that's what we do the first show back. We'll plan for it.
Sounds good to me.
You give us the date, and then I'll pass out the word, make sure everyone's up okay. And we'll pick a day in that week or whatever and figure it out. Figured it out,
man. There you go. Listeners, it's coming sometime in the future. We'll keep you posted on the details.
Man, I'm really excited for it, though.
I know. It's going to be so fun.
Oh, man. I don't think I've ever been that excited to eat awful food.
I know. It's because it's going to be a group of bros doing it, and we're going to be having a blast.
Oh, and So you'll need to stop by Home Depot and grab us some buckets
Yes.
because someone's going to throw up. I guarantee it.
I can handle it. I don't think it's going to be me.
It might be me if it's the wasabi. I do not like that stuff.
I hate wasabi. I can eat it and handle it. I'm just displeased with it. My body does not physically reject it.
So here's one of your fillings. Cake icing and peel and eat shrimp. Make it into a paste, squirt it in a donut.
Oh, no.
I mean, we're going to have tons of these. You're going to have to, with the donut one, you're going to have to just narrow it down. You're going to have so many good ones.
I know. And the way I'm going to know what the winners are is I'm probably just going to do it.
Yeah.
And try them and be like,
You'll just make a small little batch, dip your finger in, and be like, oh, that's awful. Going in a donut.
yeah. I have to get myself a pastry bag.
Yeah, and you should totally make them look pretty. Like put them all out, like make them kind of like nice shapes and everything, squirt the stuff in, then like powder sugar them and everything.
Oh, yeah. Just to sell it all, I'll say, just to put your minds at ease, gentlemen, all the mystery ingredients were inserted into these donuts using enema containers. I literally gave this donut an enema with cocktail sauce in it.
Oh, man. And what you'll have to do is you have to go get one of those boxes from like Casey's and bring it so it actually looks like, because if you did 4, so it'd be 16 donuts. So you'd have like a dozen donuts with 4 on top.
Oh, yeah.
And
I will definitely present them in the way that people would normally bring in donuts,
oh, yeah.
but I will probably take some sort of icing and label each one
Oh, yeah,
so
you'd
I
have
know
to-
what they are.
You'd have to make it so you know what they are, but do you know how great that'll be?
This is a great idea. I can't wait.
This is the best, worst idea we've ever had.
I know. I'm so excited.
Oh, man.
This is going to be good. All right.
I feel like this is going to be our stride, doing this kind of stuff.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it. This is the play. That's from the Lorax. You remember that? You ever watch that with your kids?
the old one?
No, it was from the newest one.
Was it?
The one with Danny DeVito.
Really? I've watched it. I just don't remember that part.
Oh, I quote that all the time. He finally finds that beautiful place and he has a guitar and he goes, "This is it." Into a solo right there.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. But
The Tuffle of Trees.
yeah, that movie was great. All right, you ready to scoot on out of here?
Yeah.
All right, we hit the 2-hour mark.
Woo. Thanks for listening, everyone that listened.
We appreciate it. Stay tuned for more goodies. We'll be coming back at you soon.
Indeed.
And also, bye.
Bye.
When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. When you're on the pot, give it all you got.
Gotta give it all you got.
On your con, on your not, you're not. On your con, give it all you got. It stings when I pee. It burns on the poop when I push real hard. Things don't go that well. It stings when I pee.